What is good, guys? M.V.K here. Back again. It is opinion spot time. And it is opinion spot. We're also dealing with Black History Month. And usually every time these types of months come around, these special occasions, Black History Month, Latino Heritage Month, Native American Heritage Month, First Women's Month, all that stuff, I always do something for the opinion spot. This time you're getting two. This actually is for a certain someone. I won't name him out of respect to him, but I will say this person actually, he wanted to join the Patreon, but he was like, I can't do it right, but I really wanted you to do this, so could you make an exception? And I said, you know what, okay, I'll make an exception. I'll do it for you. Basically what he wanted me to do was to do a Mount Rushmore of my black superheroes. So basically a Mount Rushmore for black superheroes. When you do a Mount Rushmore, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong because everybody's Mount Rushmore is differently. It doesn't matter what category it is. It could be for wrestlers, it could be for video games, it could be for this. Most of the time, everybody's is different. So basically what I'm saying is I don't want to hear anybody in the comment section saying, hey, how come this character ain't up here? How come this character's be up? I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart. If a character's not up here on my Mount Rushmore, that's on yours. Tough. Let's get to it. So number one on the list, the first face on my Mount Rushmore would be this guy. That's right, Black Panther. The Black Panther. Black Panther, of course, we all know, debuted in Fantastic Four number 52, 1962. How many can tell when their parents were born? My dad and my mom were in their, if I'm doing the math right, my mom was 8, my dad was 7 when Black Panther debuted, and he always loved Black Panther as well. But we all know the story of Black Panther. Comes from a very advanced African nation, a fictional country known as Wakanda. This country was never colonized by Europeans, and even though the ones that tried, they went in, they didn't come out. So yeah, just saying. He challenged the Fantastic Four to test his skills, and what did he do? He actually won. He put the first family on notice. Just saying. And he would go on to be one of the most recognizable black characters in Marvel. There were heroes before him, black heroes before him in comics, but we're talking about a major comic company. Yes, he was the first. And that's probably the one character I think everybody would have on their list in terms of a Mount Rushmore. I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. Black Panther would go on to make appearances in various cartoons, and then of course Chadwick Boseman, the great Chadwick Boseman, would go on to just delight us as a live action adaptation of T'Challa. We miss him to this day, and let's just say, yeah, he didn't leave room for improvement of the character. Just saying. Number 2, the next face on the list would go to Luke Cage. Carl Lucas. That's his real name. Carl Lucas, aka Luke Cage. Why Luke Cage? Because he's the people's hero. He's the hero. He's the hero, superhero who doesn't wear a mask. He shows what he is right here. He basically does not wear a mask because why? Well, he's super strong, but he's also unbreakable. His skin is bulletproof, unbreakable. You can't hurt him. You can't really hurt him. And it's a little bit of symbolism to the character as well in terms of having powers like that. Now, when he came out in 1973, this was another one of my dad's favorite heroes because my dad saw himself in Luke Cage. Like I said, didn't wear a mask, was never scared to. He was the hero for hire. Even though he charged, he never took money. He always gave it right back. Just showing the type of man that Carl was. Yes, his story, he started in a gang. He started in a gang, you know, and of course, consequences happened, and it all centered around a woman. His boy actually set him up to take the fall. Called the cops. They bust in his house. They saw all these drugs in his house. He had nothing to do with it, and he got sent away. And of course, he was in prison. There was a racist warden that was always making Luke's life a living hell. To get sentenced off of his term, he volunteered for an experiment, and of course, the experiment was supposed to do something way different, but instead, that same racist warden tried to sabotage the experiment, and of course, the ramification of that, he became unbreakable. Now, there's only one substance that can pierce his skin, and that's adamantium. But outside of that, Luke Cage makes the list. I love Luke Cage. Talk about the evolution of a character. This character has gone from just being the hero for hire to being an avenger, to being a father. Yes, his baby girl Danielle, and of course going on to be married, a married man. He's still married to Jessica Jones, and of course now in the comics he is the mayor of New York City in Marvel. Talk about evolution. So Luke Cage is the next face on the list. The third face on the list will go to a woman. Yeah, it ain't all men on the list. There's a woman there, and that woman name is Aurora Monroe, aka Storm. I still consider her the first black X-Men there is, because some people say, well, if you read Deadly Genesis, we already know that's not true because there was another team before. I could talk about Deadly Genesis another time, but to me, Storm is still the first black X-Men. And Storm is another one that it's just become so recognizable, so much a fan favorite. We all know, if you would, somebody who's never picked up a comic book in their lives, never watched any X-Men or even watched the cartoons, you show them a picture of the white-haired woman, they'll instantly tell you where she's somewhat from. That's how recognizable she is. She is an omega level mutant. She carries herself with grace. When every panel, when she's in a panel, all eyes are on that woman. Not even joking, on her. She's a hell of a leader, and I look at her as being a better leader than Cyclops. Okay, I like Scott, but I like Storm as the leader of the X-Men too. She was a damn good leader. And what I love even more about Storm is she was leading the X-Men when she had no powers. Cyclops ain't do that. I didn't say that. Why you saying that? Stop that. Anyway, yes, but in terms of live action adaptations, look, I understand why they casted Halle Berry. She was recognizable. They needed fan service. They needed well-known actors for the movie. I get it. But however, there was another well-known actress out there that could have played that role. And still to this day, I've always wondered what it would have been like if the talented, legendary Angela Bassett played that role. And the fourth face on my Mount Rushmore of black superheroes. This may surprise a lot of people, but I will explain why the character's up there. And who is that character? Mr. Michael Holt. Mr. Terrific. Now right there, I know for good goddamn sense that there are going to be people like, wait, what? Why is he there? Like, what about Spawn? What about this character? What about Jon Stewart? As I said before, I'm gonna say this from the bottom of my heart, very as nice as I can. Tough. My list, not yours. My Mount Rushmore, not yours. Nobody is wrong. But reason why Michael Holt makes the list again. He is everything you want in a superhero. Brains, brawn, everything. He's full circle. You want him to be the badass? He can be the badass he wants. You want to see him kick some ass? He can kick some ass. Yes, he can do it. But he is also something that we need to see more of. And he is also the embodiment of black intelligence, black excellence, own company. Third smartest man in the DC universe. That means there are 2 people ahead of him. Only 2. And I've said it before and I'll say it 1,000 times. The other 2, the 2 that are ahead of him, I will argue why is he below them. Now the rumor is that is like the 1, it's Lex Luthor, 2, it's Batman. I question the Batman real quick. I think Michael is way smarter than Batman, and I will debate with Lex Luthor and Michael on who's smarter. But at the end of the day, he represents black excellence, black intelligence. He is that third person. That means he is smarter than both Adams. He's smarter than Barry Allen. All the other big brains in turmoil of humans. He's smarter than. He's the third person. He's got that third spot. He's a member of the JSA. He's been a member of Checkmate. He's led his own team. He is everything you want. He represents not just power, but intelligence. And intelligence that is not, he's not arrogant about it. He carries himself with grace and confidence in his ability. And he used to be an atheist, but now Michael has started to go to churches and stuff like that. So he's not an atheist anymore. But yeah, he used to be. He's not anymore. But he's all about fair play, baby. I love that. I want to actually get that tattooed on me somewhere. Fair play. I'm thinking about getting it on my knuckles. Fair play. Because that's exactly what he is. It's all about fair play. Everything that has happened to him prior to him becoming the second Mr. Terrific member, he's the second. He lost his brother that he took care of, he was mentally handicapped. He passed away. Wasn't fair. He had a wife and an unborn son. They both died. Wasn't fair. When this guy was about to kill himself, throw himself, commit suicide, who came and talked him out of it? Not a human, the Spectre. The Spectre came and told him about the first Mr. Terrific, Terry Sloan. And that's where Michael took on the monarch of Mr. Terrific. That's why, and in a sense, that's why he's on my list. He represents everything that society in a sense, don't really think as blacks we have, but we got that. We could do that too. And we have done. I seen a shirt today that represented something very, very much talks about this. The people who brought our ancestors over, they weren't slaves. They were teachers, they were inventors, they were this, they were that, because we all know we can do that. Mr. Terrific represents that, and so forth. So there you have it, guys. That is my Mount Rushmore of black superheroes. But with that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you guys with another issue of the Opinion Spot. Next one is something I had planned. My top 10 favorite black X-Men characters. And that will be my way of closing out Black History Month for this year. So stay tuned for that one. I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.